Hey guys, welcome back. Well, we finally got the go-ahead. We're gonna go down and do some tree pulling on that farm. Get a lot of those locust trees cleaned up. Make some piles. And we can get them burnt here this winter. Don't think we're gonna need the backhoe, but it would sure be handy to reach in there. But nah, we're gonna leave them. We're gonna leave them bigger ones alone. Just gonna use the bobcat and tree puller. Cameron's gonna run grapple on cleanup. So I gotta get these chained down. All right, so we're down here. We are after the locust trees. Okay, here's locust trees. Let's hop out real quick, show you guys what we're talking about for those of you that don't know. This is probably a 1.5 year old tree. You can see how much growth we got right there. This is just this year's growth. This one over here has got, gee whiz, 18 inches worth of growth. And right now, these new thorns on these guys are super flexible. They're not gonna do much damage. But the older thorns back here, these are hard, like needles, super sharp. They're not very long yet. They're still adolescent tree. But I mean, gee whiz, you can see what they're gonna do to tires. You run this tree over, or if a cow's got this in a hay bale, she goes and wraps her tongue around that, she's gonna be pretty upset. And you can see what they're doing. They're just taking over everywhere. And this is just one spot. And thorns will get, you know, up to like 3 inches long on some of the older trees. We're gonna come in here and clean all these trees out. We'll show you what this looks like here in a little bit. Look at this. And this branch right here is all clear back to right there. That's all new growth. So I mean, god dang, that's almost 2 foot of growth in 1 year. So you can tell that it's new growth because it's flexible. It's very, very soft, and the thorns are still, you know, red and flexible. They're starting to harden up on that one. But anyway, we're gonna go through and yank these trees out. Work our way kind of around the farm that way. I got some more fingers over there. You guys probably remember seeing that in the last baling video. And Cameron is gonna grab these trees and pile them in certain areas so we can burn them. And I'm gonna grab those multiflower roses too. Those are really easy to grab with a tree puller. All right, you ready? All right, let's get. Boy, that looks a lot better already, huh? It's only been what, about 20 minutes? We got a nice little pile of trees down here. Now we're gonna kind of do that all the way around this big field. We've got a whole bunch of them down here around the draw, but that's gonna be about the last part we do as we kind of finish up and head out. We might go over to the other side on the other bottom and finish where I didn't over there. But the main thing is this side where we got all these monster trees up here, monster patches of trees like these. You know, there's a lot of hay in there that we could be utilizing if we can get the stupid trees out of there. Man, look at that one. It's got some monster thorns on it. Big old booger. Whew. All right, let's get after. All right, this is a little piece we just started out on. Pretty quick cleanup. Not a massive amount of trees in that spot. Well, let's just fly around here and kind of see what we got going. Small little patches here and there on this side of the farm. These are some kind of steep hillsides that, I mean, you can kind of tell that they're kind of rutted up or washed or ditched. Hoping we can maybe get some terraces put in along here. But now that got all the trees cleaned out, you can see a lot more of what's going on. This one's over on the south side. It's not near as ditched or washed out, but still the trees are getting, you know, out of hand. All right, so we had a slight breakdown with the case skid loader, though. We're just buzzing back up now, and you can see the hillside on the left is what we did the day before, and kind of how steep it is, and kind of what's causing the ditching. I mean, it's a steep farm in southern Iowa. On the right of the screen is where we're going to be headed next. Just kind of working our way back around towards the bottom. Cameron's up here cleaning up from the day before as I'm paddling up in the Bobcat. Alright, so we got some smaller thorn trees again right here. And I'm going to speed the camera up a little bit. You guys kind of just watch and kind of enjoy the footage. I apologize, I'm not going to put music on this video because YouTube's not really too keen on putting in other music. So voiceover is going to have to do for now until we can figure out something else. But anyway, basically I'm just yanking trees out, stacking them up a little bit so Cameron can grab them and carry them over to the brush pile. Okay, there we go. Got that tree out. Let's stack it over here. And let's see, we got a couple little ones here. These ones are a pain in the butt to get to grab, so I just typically just stick the forks in the ground and pop them out that way. And this one's being a pain in the butt too. A lot of the multi-fork trees or multi-shoot trees, they don't like to all come out in one shot, so pull a couple out, come back in and grab a couple more. But this is only 2x speed, guys. You can see it's pretty darn fast coming to pull trees. Really coming along. Found some old antique farm equipment in the draw down there a little bit ago. I think that's an old planter. And it looked like that water tank was set in there in good shape, but I did see one small hole in the bottom of it, so it's not going to hold water. But man, she's really coming along, looking a lot better. Actually, we still got a few more to go. I'm going to clear out this little draw. And then there's some right down there in that next little corner. So we used to just mow straight along the draw there instead of jutting out around those trees. They're down there. Come on, zoom in. There we go. Yeah, those trees. And then once we get done with that, there's one little nook right over on the other hill. You can see it right there through the bushes. And these are all hedge trees, or I mean locust trees. Nasty little buggas. Yeah, there they are. Actually, two little pockets. So this one we used to completely mow, and then that one we used to completely mow. And you can see, I mean, it's filled in with trees. And we could get a lot closer to this one. This one's got a pretty good dip in it. You wouldn't want to cross it going this way. Oh, I'll zoom out. Oh, wrong way. So you wouldn't want to cross it this way, but we could certainly get down in here and mow a lot closer to this. In fact, we'll probably turn and mow, you know, right there, cut all that up there into hay. So yeah, found one pocket of bumblebees over there, and down there by that big old walnut tree. The camera started honking at me. I just turned and drove out. I didn't even look. Alright, I think we're gonna about call it quits. It's getting super hot out. That machine's basically out of fuel. In my Bobcat, I think the hydraulic pump might be getting weak in it. Because after you run it for a little bit, it's not overheating, but man, it just seems like the hydraulics are getting awfully tired and it doesn't want to navigate and doesn't want to lift very well. So I think maybe the hydraulic pump's getting weak. And after I let it sit for a little bit like that with the air, you know, the air is kind of blowing this way into it. But anyway, the fan's running and everything. Let it sit for a little bit like that. It does a lot better. But we're both getting very low on fuel, so we're going to call today, and it's supposed to get super hot and humid today. It's already very hot, but come back tomorrow. Hit it again in the morning. Yep, making a difference. Well, this morning when we came back, we started down here in the corner where the creek is and worked our way around the creek and came up this way. We're just about done on this side today. I'm going to go ahead and yank these trees out right here and then I think we'll call it a day. It's getting plenty goddamn hot out. Whew. And I've just about had enough bouncing around for today. Alright, I can't really show you how the tree pulling works while I'm running this thing, because well, it's got a stick and then it's got 2 foot pedals, so I can't really. I mean, I'll try. Let me try it here in a second, but I don't think it's gonna work the best. All right, let's see if I can run this thing with my wrist. It's gonna be kind of difficult. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we're gonna get her. I gotta lean forward now to grab the stick with my arm. Lift up, drive forward. We're gonna pry, lift, and drive. See how easy that tree comes out there, guys? It's slicker than shit. Nothing to it. Honestly, the slightly bigger trees are easier. These little spindly fuckers, they like to just shred instead of pull. Usually I take the little points of my tongs and kind of just push them out. Get down underneath of them on the ground. Give them a little push. And if that don't work, then I come over beside them. Like that. Grab them with my little side thumb. Give a good lift. And that usually gets them. Well, this is a pain in the butt trying to do this with one hand, guys. I'm gonna get off the camera here. All right, one more for you. There we go. All right, so an aerial shot of where we've been. There's where we started. This is kind of how we were headed back on the aerial shot a little bit ago. This is where we started out right here this morning. Just to the left is where we left the night before. And you can see completely clear of all those stupid hedge trees. And there's a lot of ground in there that we were unable to access. Bigger corner back here is where we left off 2 nights ago when we had the breakdown. Nice, cleared, no trees. And I took them all the way to the fence. I didn't leave any out there to cause problems. Had a bunch showing up down here on this terrace. We grabbed them, cleared those out. There's a bunch of cedar trees right here I would like to get, but it's really steep and rutted up there, so I didn't feel like I wanted to tackle those yet. And as we get closer down to the creek, you'll be able to see we gained 15 to 20 feet around the creek. Left a big tree there. It should have been shoved off, but he's in a corner. Oh man, look at all that extra ground we're gaining now. And all of that was thorn trees. Isn't that crazy? Well, I sure hope my landlord's happy with this. There's just a few more on the left side of our creek now that I would like to go back in and get. They're not really hindering at the moment hay production, but I mean they're going to be, because they're on the banks in, you know, close to the edges of the fields where they're going to be sending branches out and be smacking calves and leaving needles for our tires. So here we go. Here's a really nice zoom out aerial for us. Alright guys, I appreciate y'all coming along. You guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a good thumbs up. Questions or comments down below. Until next time, catch you later.